Hank Green just talked about the thing I was talking about?
I don't know. Actually, maybe they'll realize the gigantic mistake they have just made and they will undo it.
Okay,
but there's this thing called the Loan Programs Office. It's basically a government...
That's what it's called.
Bank that is used to fund things that the government would like to see happen in America that otherwise would not happen because banks are just too conservative. Now, this is a wild thing to say. The government is less conservative than banks, but yeah, banks will basically only fund stuff that they've seen work before. So say, for example, you're like a young guy who made a bunch of money with his like tech startup in the payments space, and you want to build a car company. And so you found this car company and you invested in it.
How on point this is. Thank you, Chatter.
And you started to help build it with the founders. And now you need to like build a big factory. No normal commercial bank is going to do that because you have no track record of building car factories, and no one has a track record of building electric car factories. And so enter the Loan Programs Office. They would give you that loan and allow you to...
By the way, Chad, is this capitalism? Like, is this like capitalism breeds innovation, except for the fact that private banks will never give money for innovation? So you need the government to do it.
Build your big factory. And that is exactly what happened to Tesla, and that loan was instrumental in the existence of Tesla today. This is a good thing. Everyone likes it. Now, at the same time, there was also this case that no one can shut up about of Solyndra, which was like a solar power company that went belly up.
Oh, yeah,
that resulted in $500 million.
Hey guys, remember how solar energy, that's a scam, right? That's never gonna work out. Oh wait, actually, it did completely work out. It's actually the cheapest form of energy, and China is dominating it like crazy because of government investment.
Of lost money, which is a lot. But this is the thing about loans. You charge interest so that you can make money even if some of them fail. The Loan Programs Office has existed for a long time, mostly behind the scenes, not catching a lot of flack or a lot of attention, though Biden's Inflation Reduction Act dramatically increased the amount of money that it had to deploy. But it has a loan loss rate of around 2 or 3%, which is better than commercial banks. So the loans that end up not coming back, it's better than commercial banks, even though the loans that they are making are riskier, theoretically, because otherwise they just get normal commercial loans. It's specifically designed to help fund first-of-a-kind projects, which is exactly what you want to do. Because those are exactly the things that the market isn't taking care of. And having there be...
Wow, the market can't take care of innovation? Wait a minute. I was told that the market was the key driver of innovation. And here I'm being told by my friend, Mr. Green, that actually it is government investment funds that are actually massively stimulating innovation and are the key driver of innovation. Well, I'll be goddamned.
Some large bank-like thing that is able to give large loans.
So, okay, question here, Hank Green. This is a question for you. If banks are not good at actually doing innovation and the government does better innovation investing than regular commercial banks, why the fuck do commercial banks exist at all? Why isn't all banking just run by the government?
Or people who are credible and who have ideas that could, like, carry not just the United States, but humanity forward substantially.
George Santos is going to prison for 7 years. Oh, no.
The Loan Programs Office is, like, I think one of the smartest things that we have. Other countries have them too. China's is gigantic. And ours is focused a lot on alternatives to current energy stuff, which makes sense because there's a lot of opportunity in that space right now. And like, we can't innovate that much more in coal and oil and gas. We all, I thought, were on the same page that, like, that's not the future. Eventually, we're going to run out of those things anyway. And so, because it's often focused on alternative energy stuff, it's sometimes called a green bank, usually by people who are, like, more center or center left. And it's like, this is how we're going to help incentivize through markets the transition to a different set of energy production systems, which has resulted in the people on the right calling it a green slush fund, where it's just like they're taking your money and they're giving it away, but there's not even, like, the money gets paid back. Like, Solyndra was $500 million of loss. The Loan Programs Office makes more than that in interest payments every year. Like, it makes money. It's a bank. It's a bank run by the government, and it makes money, and it's not as efficient as it could be. I don't know why you don't even want this to exist. It's like a fundamental cornerstone of industrial policy. If you want industrial policy, you need a government bank office like this, who could take risks. Through the Inflation Reduction Act, the Loan Programs Office was authorized to loan out $500 billion, about. It's loaned out so far around 10% of that. And now what has happened is Doge has come in and they've said to all of these bankers who are not hard to employ. These are not people who are wanting for career opportunities. They've said to all these people, look, you can quit now and we'll keep paying you for 6 months or something like that. Or later on, we'll fire you and you'll get no severance. And so a lot of these people are taking that opportunity. And right now, it looks like the Loan Programs Office has lost about half of its staff because Doge came in and said, we don't want you to be in this work anymore. When like a lot of other, I think, pieces of the Trump administration see the Loan Programs Office as a huge potential asset that they would like to deploy. But now no one's around to administer the loans that they've already given out, let alone figure out how to give out new ones. These are not people who needed a job. They are people who wanted to work in something that was more interesting and more meaningful. They could make more elsewhere. The only bank in America that is financing nuclear power projects right now, that goes both for existing technology nuclear and potential like first of a kind kinds of nuclear stuff, is the Loan Programs Office. It's the only one doing it. Way too risky for commercial banks. They are not interested in it. There's too much regulatory weirdness. It's been too long since we've built a nuclear power plant. There's too much weirdness in the energy sector generally, with like the cost of both batteries and solar panels dropping so quickly. For the units that went online in Georgia recently, the LPO financed $12 billion, which is going to be paid back because we successfully built them and now it is generating electricity that people are paying for. They have a commitment of over $1 billion for a plant in Michigan to refurbish and
I completely disagree with people who don't like nuclear power. I'm sorry, chat. I disagree with you. I've gone back and forth on this many times. It's not so much that I like fission technology. I'm more interested in fusion technology. I go back and forth. I don't think in the US we need to do a lot of nuclear power, but I still want to see fusion research done. And an improvement of nuclear technology would be a good thing.
Turn back on a nuclear reactor there. And the LPO is backing companies that are doing small modular reactors, which is this area of nuclear power that people are excited about, where it's like, instead of trying to build a custom nuclear power plant every time, you instead have like a single plan that you just exercise over and over again, and they're smaller, so you can have like 3 of them on site, or just 1 of them, or 20.
I don't believe in the small modular reactor shit. I think that's dumb as fuck, personally.
Of them or whatever. There's X Energy and TerraPower and Oklo, and they are all financed by the LPO. And of course, they do a ton of other stuff. They do solar stuff, they do wind stuff, they do geothermal stuff that I think could potentially like be like actually what we do instead of fission and instead of fusion. I think that it's potential. I think that that's absolutely possible. And like the reason why we are able to investigate it right now, because banks will not finance it because it is too new, is the Loan Programs Office. It also is helping to finance conversion of automobile industry stuff in various ways to modernize car manufacturing, do more battery and EV stuff. It's like
nuclear power is too expensive, and that without the waste problem. For the cost of nuclear power plant, you can build double the capacity of wind and solar batteries in 1/10 of the time. I don't know if that I don't think that's true about the batteries thing. Unless you could show me that battery backup plus wind and solar is cheaper, I would be happy to believe that. I'd be happy to believe that. And it's only true probably if you're buying it from China, which we're not allowed to do. So you can't use solar energy costs if you're talking about using Chinese solar panels. You have to use American solar panels because we can't buy them. We're not allowed to buy Chinese solar panels. So that's the other issue. I mean, personally, I'd like to repeal that and buy a bunch of Chinese solar panels and blanket every single American suburban roof with solar panels owned by the community in common. I would love to do that.
The most obvious bipartisan good thing, you know? Like China's version of this, we don't understand well because they don't have to be transparent about what they do, but it's probably at least 4 or 5 times bigger than what the US is spending. And I think there's like a bunch of little ones, like each province has the ability to do industrial policy on its own, and so they're all spending loans, and we have no idea what their loan loss rate is because that might look bad. Like, we gotta do it the American way, but it's so crazy that like Solyndra became this big debacle when it wasn't even an issue. There were so many loans that all the money came back with interest and it paid that back. And all those companies now are like in the world doing good things, pushing society forward. I mean, the fact that that was turned into some kind of attack on the loan programs office and like why even? What don't you like? It's a program that works, that's administered well, and like
because they're ideologues. They're ideologues who don't care about the truth. They don't care about the fact, because if you say, well, actually the government is the most effective investment banker of them all, why do investment bankers need to be paid trillions?
They're trying to give away $500 billion. They had 200 employees. So like each person is responsible for over $2 billion and you want them to do it more efficiently than that? I'm not saying it couldn't be more efficient, but I am saying that per dollar of loans, both going out and the dollars coming back in, that's way more efficient than any commercial bank has ever been. Now there are reasons why it could be more efficient. There's reasons why it can be better. There's reasons why it can be riskier. And there's reasons why it pushes society forward much faster than commercial banking. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. And I don't think even people in the Trump administration wanted it to happen.
Look at this, like modular nuclear reactors are exponentially more expensive. Of course they are exponentially more expensive. It just makes sense. Economies of scale.